Losing sucks, and I help athletes with their minds to perform better. I've spent over 10 years studying and training to become a performance psychologist. I have helped athletes build peak performance mindsets, and I'm going to share 7 ways athletes improve when they engage in sports psychology for their training and development. Very quickly, what is sports psychology? Sports psychology is the study of how mental factors influence sports, athletic performance, exercise, and physical activity. And by understanding the principles of sports psychology, we can optimize 2 main things: an athlete's performance, i.e. how well they play, and their well-being, which is how good they feel. 1. Emotional control. An athlete's emotions play a big part in their performances and often dictate how they approach their sport. An athlete with good emotional control will be able to manage their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in a healthy and constructive way. This means they'll be able to take advantage of useful emotions like calmness to really nail a competition. And they learn how to use their thoughts to overcome negative emotions that tend to reduce the quality of their performances, like anger. For anyone who's played golf, they will know how frustrating the sport can be. It's a sport that requires a lot of skill and can often be punishing for the slightest mistake. I mean, we've all been there. When you take a tee shot and you just push it out to the right-hand side, and all of a sudden you're in the bushes and you're crawling on the floor trying to find your ball, and all your friends are 100 yards ahead of you on the fairway. To say the least, it's annoying. I've worked with golfers that share this feeling and sometimes lose their cool. It might mean they rush their shots, or become really tense, or even snap their clubs, all of which usually leads to poor rounds of golf. But through introducing simple mental interventions and creating new belief systems around their thoughts, feelings, and behaviour, the athletes I worked with were better able to control their emotions. They scored better rounds of golf and were more consistent. One also spent less on 60-degree lob wedges, a nice little bonus. 2. Confidence. Confidence is the belief that you can rely on someone or something. If we take that to sport, it generally means it's one's belief in their ability to do what they set out to do in a game. It can be to sink a putt, hit a time, score a penalty, all kinds of things. The athletes that I've worked with that are more confident tend to make better decisions in game. They're more comfortable with risk, and it means they're more likely to put themselves in better positions to create clutch moments. I recently worked with a downhill mountain biker who was looking to improve his confidence and improve his relationship with fear. Now, fear is quite a big factor in this sport. These are the guys that ride their bikes down surfaces that you think rock climbers would be practicing on, which is crazy to me, but each their own. He wanted to take on more challenging routes and push himself to get faster race times. So we worked on his relationship with fear and how to manage it in difficult moments. By going through and adjusting his thought patterns and preparing for different scenarios ahead of time, he was more confident in pushing his boundaries, which led to faster race times. 3. Concentration. Concentration is essentially your ability to focus on the right things for the right amount of time whilst keeping distractions at bay. Players with great concentration can manage their attention really well. They know how to manage the 4 attentional channels to get the most out of themselves, being broad, narrow, internal, and external. We'll go over these channels properly in another video. But good concentration means athletes will be able to do things like focus deeply on singular points, or scan the pitch properly, stop internal distractions and external distractions. All these small little factors will contribute to winning. A goalkeeper approached me to talk about his in-game concentration. When we started working together, he said that he was conceding way too many goals, and often it was because he wasn't concentrating what he should have been doing. He usually just ended up not paying attention whilst playing. Hearing that, you might think, just watch the game. Everyone else does it almost every week, why can't you? But to be laser focused like that for 90 minutes is incredibly tiring. Many keepers out there will understand this, and it's not the same as watching the game at the weekend. It's much easier to judge other athletes from the comfort of your own sofa. However, this athlete was able to improve his concentration and manage his attentional channels. We went through different strategies and built a plan that was tailored to his needs. He was more focused in the match, made less mistakes, and saved more goals. 4. Communication. Whenever you look at anyone's major success story, you'll often find it's never done alone. Top athletes will work with their coaches, teammates, friends, and family to help achieve their goals. We talk with coaches for improvements, teammates for tactical awareness, and loved ones for mental recovery. Loads of people can have a role to play in your sport. And because of this, it's important to have good communication. This topic always comes up in my sessions because ultimately we communicate to solve problems, and there are a lot of them out there. So it's useful to get it right. It can make all the difference in your journey. I'm going to give you 3 pointers for great communication. 1. Keep on-field communication clear and concise. Think of the acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Complicated instructions are usually hard to understand, and it often means they're not done properly. It's just a waste of time. 2. Use body language to help send messages. Pointing and waving your arms can make all the difference, and it can really help communicating with someone that's on the other side of the pitch. 3. Be aware of tone. Talking to people in the wrong tone can make something seem so much worse than it actually is. When giving someone some tough pointers, it can often go a lot further if you tell them in the right way. We don't want to antagonize people just for the sake of it. Good communicators work well with others to overcome challenges. When we work together, things are usually done faster and more effectively. Sounds like a winning combo to me. 5. Motivation. So many people in the athletic and performance space talk about motivation. It's why people like David Goggins are a huge thing on the internet. Motivation is the driving force for chasing your goals. It's the thing that gets you up and going in the morning and keeps you disciplined on your training program. Motivated athletes leave no stone unturned. They give their all to their performances and they are resilient in the dark times. When I first started working with athletes, I worked with a CrossFit athlete who was looking to improve his motivation. He said that he was skipping sessions and that he often lacked the discipline to commit to the work that he set himself out to do. We went through different goal setting strategies, learned how to be resilient and learned how to manage his own environment. This was all to put himself in the best possible position for his development and growth. After learning how he operated, he was able to develop more motivation and discipline. He was back on track with his training and continued to build on himself. 6. Enjoyment. When we were children, a lot of us fell in love with sport because it was fun. It was something we could go do to exercise, go burn off some energy, and have fun with our friends. Unfortunately, we feel like we can lose enjoyment for the sport. Training and competing can become a chore or stressful. It seems like madness experiencing something like that, especially because at one point it was something that brought so much joy to us. Top athletes manage their training to keep it enjoyable. If the hard work feels like play, it makes turning up to training sessions so much easier. I've worked with athletes to help manage their thoughts and feelings to help find the joy in their sport again. Here are 3 things I recommend to keep their training sessions fun. 1. Gamify training. Set challenges for yourself and turn training into games. You can gamify training by having scoreboards or times to beat. Athletes like Steph Curry are big advocates for this. 2. Make it sociable. Train with the right people and work together more often. Group work can really help with some of the monotony from individual training. Look at 4-time London Marathon winner Eliud Kipchoge. He trains with groups of people all the time. 3. Mix it up. Doing the same thing all the time, no matter how amazing it was the first time, will probably wear thin at some point. So change up the routine. Do different exercises that help you achieve the same goals, or train somewhere else just for a change of scenery. All these tiny little things can make such a big difference. 7. Mental well-being. As Shakespeare put it, there is nothing either good nor bad, but thinking makes it so. This quote alludes to how being in a good spot mentally can make all the difference in how you experience the world. And this is no different for athletes. Athletes that are in a good headspace tend to deal with stress better, recover quicker, and show less anxiety and depression symptoms. It's why so many people seek psychological support. It can make your journey going ahead so much easier. So, if we can control how we interpret the world, we can control how we experience the world, which helps improve our mental health. Our lives are messy and are always changing. So much so that I think it's something that we should learn to embrace as a part of being human. Talking to others can help sort out the mess that we sometimes find ourselves in. If we talk to others for support and borrow a brain for a little bit, it can make all the difference with our mental well-being. Reaching out for professional help can make all the difference. If you're interested in finding out more about the peak performance mindset process, check out the free Elite Mentality course on my website. The link will be in the description.